Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE review for this Monday, September 11th. Yep, 9/11 edition of Raw of 2017. Yes, it's been kind of a ill time 9/11 anniversary as everyone's still recovering in Texas and especially Florida from Hurricane Harvey and of course Irma, which just took effect over the weekend. Prayers to those in Florida and Texas. I had family live in Texas and Florida. Well, I have friends who had family in Texas, and I have friends who live in Florida now. I had family in Florida. They moved. But those who live in Florida, best to you. Prayers to you guys. But how long is we drinking water tonight? That's because of the significance of being on 9/11 and being after the hurricanes. But also the first Monday War against football. A doubleheader. Well, the first game, the Saints and Vikings game, was kind of undecided. Right now, I'm watching the Broncos game as well as against the Chargers. As I'm making this video, it's about 11 o'clock, probably be up later, but Broncos and Chargers are tied at this point when I'm recording this video. So, with this first game sucking, Wall knew he had to go big. Because last week's Wall was pretty good, and this week's Wall was decent. The only negative was we had no cruiserweight match. We had like a Miss TV segment. But we had a monster dominating. We had a couple promos that went a little too over fourth wall, but I enjoy it. Two guys who were fighting No Mercy exchanged jobs yet again. But then a guy who's been on fire with his promos lately fired off. Real life subjects were nailed in two big promos tonight. Plus, a big match was not the main event. They wanted it to be on before the Broncos game started. And the wrong match was the main event. Yet again, but it wasn't as bad as like Big Cass and Big Show main eventing over a triple threat match before SummerSlam. It wasn't that bad. But still, there was kind of reasoning. I'll get to that when we get closer to that. Plus, we had news on a big main roster debut coming soon. For most dominant women in a long time. Coming from NXT. I'll get to my comments about that later. But we open up the night with Roman Reigns against Jason Jordan. Of course, this is stemming from last week when John Cena took on Jason Jordan. And there was a little bit of exchange between Roman and Cena. Basically, because of that, we're playing a game of anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because Roman kind of taunted Cena for taking so long to beat up a Wookiee. Well, Roman had a chance to prove Cena wrong by beating Jordan in less time than Cena did. Well, Jordan gave him more hassle than Cena got nailed by Jordan. Like, they're trying their best to push Jordan. This is the most genuine push of him. Like, we haven't seen him with Angle in a few weeks, so it's kind of cool. They're not playing up as much the Angle thing, because I think that thing needs to die. That whole Angle Sun storyline needs to die. They're not progressing with it. But he had a great match with Cena last week, and tonight, once again, he had a great match against Roman. Looked really good in there. Get some more cheers, with how this will affect his future, where he goes from here. Is he going to wrestle The Miz? We haven't seen that progress. Will Miz even wrestle at No Mercy? They said he was going to defend his title, but we still don't have that answer yet for who he's going to defend the title against at No Mercy, if he's going to defend it at all. So anyway, despite George's best efforts, even a nasty little suplex, he had one with the locks a few times. Even had him in crossface a couple times. But of course, Super Reigns came alive with Big Samoa drop, and eventually at one point did deliver the drive-by. But as Jordan tried to get some more wind, even trying for another spear, Reigns would move out of the way near towards the end of the match as Jordan would eat the post, and then Jordan would get speared in a Superman punch. And that's when the drive-by happened as well. He got all the moves as assassin. Drive-by, Superman punch, spear, 1, 2, 3 victory for Roman Reigns getting the victory. Jordan loses against both Roman and Cena, but guess what? He looked good in both matches. And he took on Finn Balor a few weeks ago, so at least they're slowly but surely building them up and not obsessively pointing the Kurt Angle thing in our faces because it wasn't working. That's why I never mentioned that much. They didn't mention it last week during Cena's match with Jordan, but I think the whole Angle needs to die. Pun the pun, the whole storyline Angle with Jordan needs to die, with him being Angle's son. Cena was watching backstage this match, and he's like, I got a lot to say about woman. I'm going to say it in the ring. Get your popcorn ready. The Snorks were not as vicious as the last couple of weeks. And people, including myself, have been comparing this to Cena Rock levels. By the quality of the promos, and the weirdness of the promos, and the fact we want to cheer on the part-timer instead of the full-timer. 5 years ago, we were cheering on The Rock instead of John Cena. And now we're cheering on John Cena instead of Roman Reigns. So Cena came out. You were talking about Roman in every match. And Roman's like, well, I was in the middle of having a great match. Something you don't know anything about, Cena. I've had more matches in my career, great matches in my last 2 years than your entire career. Cena's had a lot of great matches in the last couple of years. More than you ever did, Roman. Cena's had better matches than you. You were in the worst main event of Mania history. In WrestleMania 32 against Triple H. Cena was in a match against in the primes, but still, better main event than yours with Triple H. And you main event against Taker, and the match was like, not the worst main event, but your match with Triple H was much worse. So then Cena nailed down, like I said, the Snorks were not as snarky as the last couple weeks. They really toned down the Snorks since the first week, but they still were kind of like sharp, especially near towards the end. And Roman's promo, he had a little fumbles here and there, but he did have some good little lines as well. Including Cena, the only reason why you're here is because you can't make it in Hollywood. I know a guy. Of course, being his cousin, The Rock. But Cena's like, you are the guy, right? The guy doesn't just cower around. The guy needs to step up his game. And if you are what you say you are, if you are the guy, if this is your yard, you'll prove it. At No Mercy. You'll step up your game and not cower. And of course, the ending zinger. I'm going to be just like a drug test, woman. You can't pass me. Ooh, the first of, like I said, 2 real-life past scenarios being brought up in storylines. Of course, many people know that woman did fail a drug test last summer, forcing him to be suspended for the build of his scheduled triple threat match that did happen at Battleground against him and Rollins and Ambrose. The Dream Shield triple threat. Roman got suspended right before the build for that was about to begin. So I can't believe they brought it. They never brought it up. They didn't bring up that Roman was gone or whatever, but they didn't bring up the fact why he was suspended. Until now, about a year later, Cena brought it up. So I cannot believe they got it brought up. And like I said, it was the only real life thing that got brought up in promos. Something that exchange between Cena and Roman really hyping up once again the pay-per-view. I'm happy they're doing the promos, not doing a lot of physicality. At least they're saving it up. Either for No Mercy or the Wall before No Mercy next week. Especially going up against an interesting Monday Night Football game against the Lions and the Giants. Giants lost their game. Lions won their game. So we'll see what happens with that. Now after that, we have a next matchup. We have, of course, 2 women involved in the Fatal 4-Way for the women's title. Raw women's title at No Mercy. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss were commentating the match between Sasha Banks and Emma. Of course, Emma won a tag team match with Nia to make the scheduled one-on-one match between Bliss and Sasha a Fatal 4-Way. With Emma stealing the victory after Nia did all the work. It was interesting to see Nia and Bliss sitting next to each other, not opposite. So that was interesting. Emma looked pretty good here. Against, I'm happy that they're giving Emma a chance, indeed. And they're playing up the hashtag thing. How about hashtag Sasha beats Emma tonight? That's the hashtag for tonight. Despite Emma's best efforts, with some great offense, looking good. Sasha still the balls, wants to be still the balls, despite not successfully defending a title in any of her title reigns, sadly. That's fact. So Emma came back with some big moves, including a big splash in the corner. Charlotte came back, big double knees, leading up to the bank statement and the victory for Sasha Banks with Nia and Alexa watching on. Now they had a little back to this confrontation later on, kind of finally addressing things about why Nia turned on. But their little best friend thing that never went anywhere until we saw Nia beat up Alexa. We thought it was a Nia face turn, might be an Alexa face turn. They're trying to build, but kind of rushing it. And then Alexa said, "I'm sorry I didn't get you a title match sooner. I should have added you in. We should have had a one-on-one match." They did have a one-on-one match, but it ended in a count-out. But they will have a one-on-one match next week, non-title. And they're having this conversation in the midst of a promo airing involving Asuka making her main roster debut soon. Now, a few weeks ago, she was forced to forfeit the NXT Women's title because of a so-called shoulder injury that she suffered in a match against Ember Moon, a great match against Ember Moon at NXT Brooklyn TakeOver 3. We don't know if it's a work or not, but they did say that Asuka was going to be going to main roster soon, negotiating with both Raw and SmackDown. Now, she's reporting today that Asuka was going to be debuting for the Raw brand, and it's saying that she's going to debut sometime after TLC. And they aired a promo tonight that Asuka will be making her main roster debut on the Raw roster. Now, I think she would have done a lot better on SmackDown. There's a lot more women she can work with. She can work with Naomi. She can work with Carmella. She can work with Natalya. Did I say Natalya already? And maybe Lana. And Tamina. But the Raw women, some of them have beaten or took on Asuka and got their asses stomped by her. And it's not like women to won with. They're only matches like women that can actually have good matches with Asuka and not get seriously hurt and have the muscle to handle her is like Sasha and Bayley. Of course, Bayley had 2 matches with Asuka. NXT TakeOver Dallas, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Losing them both. The match she lost the title in the rematch. And then you have women that is on the roster that don't get used that much, and guess what? Asuka's beating them all as well. And injured them too. Especially Dana Brooke and Emma. She beat them both NXT and hurt them so bad. On TV and off screen. And of course, she beat Mickie James. That was Mickie James' first match back. Was the match against Asuka and NXT TakeOver Toronto last fall. So there's not a lot of women for Asuka to work with. Maybe she bring some up of NXT. More importantly, bring some up from the Mae Young Classic. I am liking it. There are also good people in Mae Young Classic. Shayna Baszler. They may do a 4 horsewomen thing with Wowsy coming in. We shall see. That leads anything, especially the finale on Tuesday. Preempting 205 Live to a half hour. So, there you go. Asuka, main roster soon on Raw. I'm hearing sometime after TLC in October. Of course, Hell in a Cell is the next pay-per-view for SmackDown. I may be going to that. I may get tickets for that. I wasn't going to go to Hell in a Cell in Detroit, but I was supposed to go to a local wrestling show. Can't go now because I have a gig. So I may go to Hell in a Cell to make up for it. But before Hell in a Cell, we got No Mercy. Main event for No Mercy is, of course, the Universal title on the line. As Brock Lesnar would defend the title against the Monster Mom man, Braun Strowman, making a big statement last week, beating the crap out of Big Show in that cage match. Really good cage match main event. Very surprised by that. But these guys have unique chemistry. Usually big guy matches suck. But this big guy against big guy match was pretty good. The chemistry is really good. The 3 matches they had were better than anyone expected, especially a cage match. And sending Big Show out to get hip surgery now and maybe retired. If it is, thank you, Big Show. Your unconscious effort to get people over been great. Heck, you get Floyd Mayweather over in WrestleMania 24. But tonight, Braun would begin his dominance yet again. First, interrupting a promo between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Well, he was actually called out. by Lesnar and Heyman. Heyman doing a little big promo selling you on Lesnar taking on Strowman, saying that for the first time ever since becoming champion, Brock Lesnar is the underdog. Understatement of the year, especially by the way that Strowman's taller and stronger, and the way he took out Lesnar at SummerSlam. But Heyman said you might be strong and faster than Lesnar, Strowman, but are you the baddest? Are you the baddest? Are you better? Better than Brock Lesnar? Are you better than the Beast? Can the monster slay a beast? And then Heyman was like, it's like the UFC fighting the Broctagon. That was interesting. He said it that way. Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Let's fight. And right on cue, here comes Braun Strowman. And he bounced right on Lesnar. They didn't confront each other last week because Lesnar wasn't there. But they didn't confront each other tonight. Denver scored again. It's now 14-7. Second quarter as I'm recording this. So then, Lesnar, despite being powered by Strowman early, like pouncing him in the corner, Lesnar came flying back and did a nasty German suplex. But I like this spot. Did a suplex. Braun no-sold it and bounced right back up and delivered a nasty clothesline to Lesnar before ending with the power slam. The second attempt, he did it once, tried it. Then the second time, following the bounce off, followed the suplex, and bang. Took him out, put his foot on his chest, holding Brock Lesnar's Universal title. To kind of re-quote the Wyatt's thing. Braun's got the universe in his hands. He's got the Universal title in his hands. He's got the universe in his hands. He's got the Universal title in his hands. Will we have it permanently after No Mercy? I hope so. We need a full-time champion again. I hope that we get 2 channel changes soon. Lesnar loses the Universal title. Jinder Mahal loses the WWE title. Hope for both of those to happen soon enough. So now we're on to our next scenario. I think. And also, before we get to the next match, this would take Lesnar out of interfering in the Cena-Strowman match. I thought that we'd get interference. I thought we'd get a free ending with the Cena-Strowman match. With like maybe Lesnar getting involved or a woman. I'll get a spoiler alert. Nobody interfered. But we still had a screwy ending. Which I'll get to specifics in a moment. But I think the next thing was a scheduled tag match. No, it was actually Bray Wyatt against Goldust. We haven't seen Goldust in a few weeks after Goldust initially teased he was going to get a protege after SummerSlam, but that never went anywhere. But tonight, looking all capey, he came out to face Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt had a little creepy little promo. Of course, talking about his match against Finn Balor. Finn Balor would not be the demon. We're calling it man against man, not demon against man. So we'll see. It is like the woman match. And we saw what happened last time. Balor was just himself. He lost on Raw before SummerSlam. So can he win as Balor, not the demon? We shall see. And Bray, like I said, Bray had a little creepy promo saying that, like Balor, Goldust, you hide behind the paint, hiding from the truth. That behind the paint and the facade, you're just a human being. He wanted to show that tonight as he came out. Despite Goldust's best efforts, it's interesting. Goldust is still a heel here because he's been a heel for a while. You know, he had a good little build with R-Truth, and then, like I said, teasing a protege, never went anywhere. You know, never brought up again. So as Mike Goldust delivers some big punches and clotheslines, Wyatt would come back alive. With a big low body kick, setting up the Sister Abigail in a quick little matchup, 1-2-3 victory for Bray Wyatt. And after the match, Bray Wyatt had a little wag in his hand. And then we found out what the wag was meant for and what was on the wag. The wag was covered with rubbing alcohol. And that rubbing alcohol was on that wag all over Goldust, taking his face paint off. So we almost saw Dustin be exposed. And then Balor came for the rescue, and Bray scurried out of the way before any physical confrontation could be done with Bray Wyatt and Balor. Like, Balor is becoming irrelevant. You know, he came back big and should have gotten up, even though he doesn't deserve to face Lesnar right now for the title. At least put him in some feud that matters. But now he's been stuck in this feud with Bray for a few weeks, and it should be great. Should have been great, but they're messing up. The eater of words against the demon should have built itself, but they fumble sometimes with Bray. Like, you think some feuds with Bray would be good, but create a fumble sometimes with Bray storylines that should work. And you had a little weird storyline with Rollins, and now this with Bray and Balor. So there you go. Speaking of Rollins, at least Rollins moved on from Bray Wyatt and is now reunited with Dean Ambrose, and they're now the Raw Tag Team Champions. They are scheduled to defend their titles against Sheamus and Cesaro in a rematch at No Mercy. The match is SummerSlam was pretty good, and they get to see the challenges in action. Or we're supposed to see the challenges in action, as Sheamus and Cesaro were heading out to the ring to take on the Club, Gallows and Anderson, who, of course, wanted revenge on Cesaro and Sheamus for inadvertently costing him a match against the Tag Team Champions last week. Their stretching backfired big time. So they want a little piece of revenge tonight. And the Tag Team Champions won commentary. They were bad-mouthing Cesaro and Sheamus as they were making their way to the ring. The Club was already in the ring waiting for them. And then bang, there was a brawl on the Titantron between the champs and the former champs. And the Club got involved. And there was a big brawl in the match between the Club and Cesaro and Sheamus, which I think the ball is on their trunks now. So that must be the official name is The Ball. Where's The Ball t-shirt? That may happen soon. The match never happened. It would lead to an 8-man tag later on the evening with Rollins and Ambrose fighting a delightful pair of tag team partners who wanted to delete the Ball and the Club. Of course, referring to the Hardys. Adam Oakley was going to be the Hardys. There's only the only team left that's relevant. So that would set up that match. It would surprisingly be the main event. And the Ball t-shirt, cool. Speaking of guys who really have cool shirts, on to Elias. Like, he's working so much. I've been saying this for a while, that Elias is so working on the main roster than he did in NXT. He's getting a lot of heat, especially his little song tonight, NTNK, singing about how bad Anaheim is, as he would take on Kalisto. Like, Elias looked good at Elite because he had some big matches against big people. He had a match against Ambrose, couple matches against Balor, but now he's back to just taking on lower mid-card jobbers who should be treated better, like Kalisto. He should be a 205 Live, but seeing how 205 Live is, he'd probably get pushed over for a guy who just got pushed in because he's hated by the locker room, and a guy who should not be, who I like, but guess what? He should not be getting a title match over other deserving cruiserweights. Enzo, anyway. So Cleveland's probably happy he's not on 205 Live, especially with Enzo getting a title match. Anyway, I'll get to him in a minute. So Cleveland's fighting his best efforts and big splashes and big lucha libre moves. Elias will come back with some big nasty clotheslines. And that powerbomb he did, that huge powerbomb, carrying Hiro Kamana with that nasty powerbomb, nasty big bump that Kalisto took, setting up the trip away and the victory for Elias Sampson. Speaking of guys who will become irrelevant if nothing big happens to him, like Balor's in that same position. He's not in a big feud that makes him relevant. Same with Elias. They had a great opportunity with them. They're like giving the web a little bit. He's got a lot of heat, but the Heat will only go so far if he doesn't have any adequate opponents. Hopefully, to give him some adequate to do soon. At least it was better than what happened with him a couple weeks back when he took on Pelvis Wesley, the Southpaw Wedge, wrestling character. So now on to the main event. That should have been the main event. Braun Strowman against John Cena. When this match was next, I was like, wait a minute. Why is this match now and not the main event? Well, they wanted this match to go before the Broncos game started. By the time this match started, it was about 9:55. In the first game between the Vikings and the Saints was almost over, and it was a big blowout. Vikings destroying the Saints. So with 20 minutes left before the Broncos game was supposed to start, they decided to get Strowman Cena on when everyone's flipping in between, so everyone can see the Strowman Cena match before the Broncos game started. And the match ended right at 10:15 when the anthem started. And it was a big matchup. Should have been the ending though. Especially the way the match ended. Should have been the way Raw ended. So Strowman looked pretty good early on, destroying Cena. But then we were fearing the worst. That we were going to see another victory. That woman was going to be right about a certain guy burying a young talent. The man who's faster than the Rey Mysterio. More powerful than a Big Show. Able to bury careers in a single bound. Super Cena! He came alive. Big move. Even trying to find Uncle Shuffle. But then I like when Strowman came out of it with a spine buster. And then I always like the spot when Cena did a drop kick, didn't do shit. And then Strowman did a drop kick after it. Bang! Took him out. So they're exchanging a very good match between these guys. Strowman looked pretty good and powerful against Cena. He needs to look good against Cena. So then, like I said, I was thinking early on, are we going to get a screwy ending? And I was like, are we going to see a Lesnar interference? I told you that wasn't going to happen because Lesnar was taken out earlier by Strowman. Were we going to see a Roman Reigns interference? No. So we did have a screwy ending. It was kind of like a really screwy ending. So they pulled a little bit on the outside after exchanging the inside. Strowman grabbed the steel steps, nailed Cena against him. Referee John Cole did not call the bell then. It was only after Braun brought the steps back in the ring and power slammed Cena on the steps that finally the match was called. It wasn't enough, the steel steps on the floor. You had to bring the steel steps back in the ring and do something with it in the ring to cause a DQ, ref? You know what happens when you don't DQ someone right off the bat? I know it's outside the ring, but it's a DQ nonetheless. You know what happened, John Cole? When you don't do your job and don't DQ someone right off the bat and wait a little bit to do so. You just made the list! But we had a powerful ending, though. Strowman finally got DQ'd, and even did the UK Steven to Cena. That was funny. And we ended the main event with Strowman standing tall on Cena. He dominated Lesnar earlier, and they dominated Cena. Even without getting pinned, Cena still got Strowman over. I make fun of Cena all the time about him burying people. But for how many people Cena has allegedly buried with the help of creative, he's also gotten people over as much as he buried them. Like gotten over AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, among others. CM Punk. And mostly got him over clean. And even with a screwy ending, he got Strowman over big. And it protected both guys. Protected Cena from getting pinned before his match against Roman. Same with Strowman. Protecting him from getting pinned before his match against Lesnar. And still making Strowman look strong. Instead of making Roman look strong, making Strowman look really strong. Taking out Lesnar and Cena in the same night. So, great. And Roman was backstage watching like Cena did his match. Saying that monsters showed no mercy for Cena, so will I. Show no mercy for Cena. So now, before we get to our next 7 Minutes TV, I told you we did get the main event was the 8-man tag, which should not have been the main event, but hey, they wanted Cena and Strowman to be on before the Broncos game. They want to beat Monday Night Football, the ratings game. So they're looking for tag partners. Ones and Ambrose, a little funny segment. To find the Hardys, they found Dean Malenko and Jamie Noble first. And then they found the Hardys, the eventual inevitable partners. Then they were on to Miz TV. And Miz had a big announcement that he and Maryese are expecting their first child. Is it real or is it storyline? And I think it's real. You know, you don't in this day and age, you don't believe what's real and what's not these days. You know, because I've seen this too many times with baby storylines in the company. But if this is legit, if they all legitimately having their first child, congratulations to Maryese and Miz. If this is real, on their first baby child. We don't know the sex yet, but congrats to them, man. They're a lovely couple. But as Miz was going on about his unborn child having a little speech prepared, his scheduled guest interrupted him. Enzo Amore. Yes, accordingly, the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. Should have been Cedric Alexander. They had a great Fatal 5-Way match last week. The elimination match to set up the #1 contendership. I was fearing Enzo was going to win, and he did. Like, they're trying to make him be like the Eddie Guerrero, the lying, cheating, steal guy. Well, and Enzo had a really interesting point in his promo against Miz. He got fucking buried tonight by Miz. Miz has been on the wall with his promos lately, and Miz was on fire yet again. Saying that, about a year ago, Enzo, you were the most popular guy in NXT with Kaz. With Big Cass. You guys were the hottest thing from NXT. You know, you were selling merchandise and selling pay-per-views off the wax. And then, about a year later, what happened, Enzo? You've got this attitude that you're better than anyone else. And that's why you've been kicked out of tour buses in the WWE locker room. Ooh, like I said, a lot of real things being brought up tonight. And this was not what we were expecting. We did not expect this to be brought up at all. A lot of us who are diehard and do follow the dirt sheets, we do know that Enzo does have a big ego in and out of the ring. That what Enzo is in the ring, he is outside the ring. An egomaniac that won't shut up. And he rubs people the wrong way. And he got kicked out the locker. I think he had a confrontation with Warren, from what I heard. He got kicked out of the bus in the locker room. And I heard, like, Miz even said that, Enzo, you said you were bringing your talents to 205 Live. The only reason why you're there is because it's the only place they can have you because everybody else hates you. So burn for the Miz. Another fire promo from Miz, man. He's been delivering premium promos, shooting promos like crazy in the last year or so. I've been saying that he's had the best era of his career ever since Maryese came back to the company. You know, Miz has been like the best he's ever been. Not just in the ring, but on the microphone, especially. But he's like, Enzo, you can learn from me. I was like you. I was the one that was a cocky bastard coming from MTV and got kicked out of tour buses and locker rooms. That has been publicized by many wrestlers, including JBL. But Miz has said, unlike you, I've regressed. I've learned from my mistakes. And I've worked my tail off every day since then to prove to everybody that I deserve respect. I didn't just bark orders and think of an egomaniac to get over. I proved to everybody that I can be responsible. And isn't getting interesting is that Enzo Amore had a little bit caught and he had like nothing much. He said that Miz, you're only over because you copy everybody else. Look who's talking, Enzo. You're copying Eddie Guerrero's gimmick. That's gimmick infringement and you know it. With the lie, cheating, stealing thing. Even down to saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So, it's like calling the kettle black. You know, the whole saying, like the kettle black. I hope I got it right. But that's what I'm saying. Like Enzo saying that Miz copies everybody. Look who's talking, Enzo. You copy Eddie Guerrero. And it would prompt an impromptu match between Enzo and Miz. And it was very much a comedy match because both guys were grabbing the microphone in the match. Like they were like doing promos doing it. Especially Miz was parodying Enzo's how you doing. And then even Enzo said later on in the match, who's your daddy? And then the crowd was saying it too. Like, Enzo's trying to be funny, but that was like too far with who's your daddy. Like right after Miz's promo, and especially after him coming out to say expecting his first shot with Maryese. Like, the long thing to say. Trying to be comedy, trying to be funny, but it's not good. So then after the mic exchange, like, the mic exchange was the only good part of the match, which was kind of sloppy. But the only other good part besides the mic was the referee throwing the match out after Enzo got double teamed by the Miztourage. You know, he got nailed by both Dallas and Curtis Axel before being tossed back in. A limp. Enzo got nailed with a skull crushing finale. And like I said, Miz got DQ'd. Enzo won. So, there you go. You know, a little sloppy match was okay, but the only good parts was the beatdown and the mic exchange. It was like a novelty match. And then Neville went backstage and left. He's supposed to defend against Enzo. I hope Neville retains over Enzo. No, Enzo is, despite being an egomaniac and being a little screw loose and being hidden backstage, he's still over with the fans. But now I think his act is now getting stale. I think everyone felt that when he went to main roster last year, everyone had their doubts about Enzo getting over main roster because he's not the best wrestler in the world. But his mouth can only get him so far. And now, he's now becoming stale. And we could have a double turn. Miz could be face and Enzo could be heel. Especially if the way he said, "Who's your daddy?" Could make him heel, but we'll see. They really put a trigger on that. And like I said, we still don't know who Miz is defending his title against. It might be against Jason Jordan, but they're not going to build it in a week, especially if they announce the match within days of the pay-per-view. But it could build it up. If Miz does not defend, it could continue to build up his frustration. You know, it wasn't able to defend it at SummerSlam. It was told it was going to defend it at No Mercy. It never did. We'll see if he does. But speaking of No Mercy, I think we should have a triple threat tag team title match at the pay-per-view. But we already have a fatal four-way women's match. We could see the club being added to the Sheamus, Cesaro, Ambrose, and Rollins match. And maybe the Hardys be added. Because they need something to do before the Revival come back. After injury setback once again. And it could be a setup with this 8-man tag team match, which, like I said, was main event over Cena and Strowman, which is the wrong move on a real-life basis. But when it comes to trying to compete against Monday Night Football, it was like the smart move because they wanted to get Cena and Strowman on before everyone flipped to the Broncos game against the Chargers starting. And like I said, the time when Strowman took out Cena in the Power Slam, it was 10:15 on the nose, right as the anthem was starting. So for this being a forced main event, at least it wasn't like that one time, as I said, with Big Cass and Big Show was the main event over a triple threat match. That match sucked. This match, being main event over Cena Strowman, for logical ratings reason, was not the better of a main event. You know, brawl broke out and continued on from what happened earlier, with all four teams brawling. The Hardys being added, they weren't in the initial brawl, but they were in it this time. And then they did a little poetry motion. Hardys were flying early until the isolation game with the heels, despite having the differences, teaming up for a little bit. There was a little bunch, though. As Jab was getting nailed, isolation, he got pinned at one point. Matt was supposed to break off the pin, but the referee, I think Matt missed his cue, or referee missed his cue. Like referee was counting and Matt was coming in. It was kind of an awkward little botch there. And then Ambrose and Rollins gave us some big moves. And we almost saw a lot of finishers being due. We had the Twist of Fate at one point. We even had the Magic Killer being attempted. But then we had a double Twist of Fates, like I said. The same as Cesaro got in. They basically walked down the partners and basically fed Gallows and Anderson to the wolves. For the double Twist of Fate, Ambrose and Rollins were coming with their double team, the clothesline knee, and the dirty deeds in the victory. For the heels, not the good guys. Of course, it was Carl Anderson taking the double knee, dirty deeds double team. So, there you go. When Sheamus is all on the ramp, walking out on the partners, the faces stood tall as we ended War. We're in a more powerful image with Strowman ending War. Hey, he ended War last week. You don't mind having the same guy end War 2 weeks in a row. But hey, you want something different. And the fact, like I said, the logical reasons why one match was main event Not in the other matches made, ratings. But hey, Strowman taking out Cena to end War would have been a more powerful image than this match. But hey, like I said, they wanted to be NFL. They wanted to be before the second game started. There were, like I said, there were like 2 minutes left in the Vikings Saints game. And they wanted to be finished with Strowman and Cena before, broken record, move on. So these will all be the first one against football. Hopefully they have more powerful walls. And hopefully they don't let the ratings affect moving around main events that should be main events. But they may have to compete against football. We shall see what goes down. But at least it's the only Monday Night Football doubleheader. They always do the doubleheader opener. They don't do 2 games in a week from now on. Of course, the next game will be on at 8:30 next week against Lions and Giants. We'll see how that game goes. I mean, see people flipping. Especially after their first game was sucky. Kind of a one-sided match that helped Walt early on. Then, of course, people were flipping over the second game. After Cena Strowman. The time was right. So, there's that for my Raw review for this evening. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you next time. Bye-bye.